Hello there, my name is Marella. Welcome to Quick Yoga. Take a good sitting position. I invite you to close your eyes, bring your hands to your heart, turn your attention inwards. Notice your breath. To ground ourselves and focus, we'll open with 3 ohms. Exhale, inhale. 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 Your eyes, release your hands. Word of the day is pranayama, which is breathing, paying attention to our breath, noticing when our breath comes into us, noticing when our breath leaves us, and seeing if we can spot a pause between the in-breath and the out-breath, and also between the out-breath and the in-breath. We get control of our breathing, we get control of our body, we get control of our bodies, we get control of our lives. So we use breathing in our practice of asana, but also off the mat and out on the street, out in life. If we can turn into our breath, it immediately grounds us, focuses, centers us and presents us in the now. We don't think about the future, we don't worry about the past. So let's try it out for our practice today. Make your way onto your hands and knees. Moving into cat-cow, exhale, round your back up. Inhale, sink down between your shoulder blades, body following breath. Staying with your breath in each pose, and also in the transition poses, moving from one pose to the other. Moving into forearm plank, walk your knees back, lower down on your elbows, clasp your hands together, interlace your fingers, float your shoulders over your elbows, turn your toes under and lift your knees off the floor, squeeze your heels together, engage your core. Lower yourself to the floor, making our way into locust 2, arms by your sides, squeeze your heels together, lift your legs off the floor, lift your arms off the floor, turn your thumbs up, lift your head and shoulders up as high as you can. And making our way into leg lifts, come and lie on your back, leg twists. Bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips. Bring your hands together in front of you, interlace your fingers and point your index finger. Stretch your left leg out on the floor. Inhale, lift your right leg up, lift your head and shoulders off the floor and point towards your foot. Inhale, and then exhale and release. Inhale, exhale, and moving from leg to leg. careful not to hold your breath. Make your way to standing and coming into garland pose. Feet inner hip width apart. Place your hands behind your heels, bend your knees, lift your head, look up. Press the heel of your hands towards the floor. Lift your hips up. Make your way to plank, walk your feet back, float your shoulders over your wrists, and then either stay here or plank with one leg lifted. Inhale, lift your right leg off the floor, lift your head, look up, flex and point your right toes. And switch to the other side. And make our way into twisted down dog. Lift your right hand, cross your body and bring it towards your left shin, your left ankle, and look under your left arm. Press the backs of your knees away, squeeze your heels towards each other. And switch to the other side. Replace your hand and coming into para pose, walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, stand up, lift your arms out in front of you, hands shoulder width apart. Invite the head of the shoulder bones back into the shoulder sockets. Bend your knees, lower your hips, round your back. Bring your forehead to your knees, stretch your arms out in front. Sit back and get the bone. Inhale, press down, stand up, and moving into eagle. Shift your weight onto your left foot, lift your right leg and wrap it around the front of your left leg. Lift your left arm and wrap the right underneath. Hug the midline, keep your back straight, bend the standing legs, sink down, gaze straight ahead. Inhale, press down, stand up and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot, lift your left leg, wrap it around the front of the right, lift the right arm, wrap the left underneath, hug the midline, back straight, bend the standing leg and sink down. Press down, stand up. Moving into pigeon quad stretch. Make your way out your hands and knees. Move your right knee forward and park it behind your right wrist. Invite your front foot to come a little bit more forward. Walk your back knee back. And then bend your back knee. Bring your heel to your hip, reach back with your left hand and clasp your foot. If you can, Pivot your hand on top of your foot so that your fingers are pointing forward. Torso upright, lift your gaze. And switch to the other side. Right foot back, left foot forward. Walk your back knee back. Bend your back knee, reach back, clasp your right ankle, bring your heel to your hip, pivot your hand on top of your foot and square towards the front of the mat, torso upright. And release. And make your way into fire log pose. Bend your left knee and parallel your front shin with the front edge of your mat. Then lift your right foot and place your ankle on top of your left knee. Make both feet active, press your sit bones into the floor, either sitting upright, more doable, more difficult, lift your arms and hinge forward. Inhale, come back to center and switch to the other side. Stack your left ankle on top of your right knee, shins parallel. Inhale and hinge forward. Inhale, come back to center. And moving into bridge pose. Sideways bridge in this case. Lie on your back, bend your knees, lift your hips off the floor, walk your arms in underneath, shrug your shoulders towards each other. And stay here if you wish, or walk your feet around to one side. If you can lift your hips 5 to 10% higher, now's the time to do it. And walk to the other side. And gently come back to center and lower your back to the floor. Moving into the firmly rotated pose. Place your arms in goalpost arms by pressing the backs of your hands into the floor with your elbows bent, elbows on the floor. Bend your knees, bring your knees into your chest. Inhale, roll your hips to one side and then lift your head off the floor and look away from your knees and place your head back on the floor. Inhale back to center and switch to the other side. Inhale back to center. And lower your feet to the floor, arms by your sides. Move into bow pose. Lie on your belly. Bend your knees, bring your heels into your hips, clasp your ankles and kick your heels up and back. Use your legs to lift your legs. And gently release. Make our way to Cobra, forearms on the floor, tops of your feet on the floor, flare your toes, lift your head and shoulders, elbows on the floor. Squeeze your heels together. Come and sit up. Make our way into band angle pose, ankles together. If you wish, you can sit up in a block like I'm doing, and then press the lower parts of your feet together. Clasp your ankles, inhale, stretch up, exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, come back to center and stretch your legs out. Turn your toes up, lift your arms up and hinging forward. Reach for your ankles, engage your quads. Inhale, come back to center and make our way into garland pose. Come into squat pose and reaching forward, bring your arms around the front of your shins and clasp your ankles behind you. Squeeze your knees into your shoulders, round your back and lower your head. And release your hands and come and stand up, and moving into hand to foot pose. Inhale your arms up, bend your knees, and then post the palms of your hands under the soles of your feet. So the whole top of the back of your hand is on the floor and your toes are almost up your wrists. Allow your head to drop. Knees bent, more doable, more difficult. Begin to press the backs of your knees away from you. Inhale, release your hands. And come back and lie down and moving into double diamond. Bend your knees, walk your feet out to the long edges of the mat, stretch your arms out, turn your palms up, allow your knees to come down to one side, keeping your feet wide apart, and then lift your head off the floor, turn it, look away from your knees and place your head back on the floor, pressing the backs of your arms, your hands into the floor. Inhale your knees to center and switch to the other side. Lift your head off the floor and release it back onto the floor, looking away from your knees. Moving it to thread the needle. Lift your right foot, bring the outside edge of your right foot on top of your left knee. Lift your left foot off the floor, slip your hands between the legs, make both feet active. Press your lower back into the floor. And switch to the other side. Lift your left foot, bring the outside edges on top of your right knee, and bring your right knee into your chest. Make both feet active, shins parallel to the ceiling. And release. And moving into a happy baby, clasp the outside edges of both feet, turn the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling, draw down the soles of your feet, shins vertical, press your lower back into the floor, invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Release your feet, bring both knees into your chest and give yourself the most delicious, loving, kindly hug. And prepare yourself for relaxation. Stretch legs out, stretch arms out, turn hands up. And relax, let go, allow yourself to sink into the floor and just observe your breath. Looking to deepen your breathing. Bring your attention back into your body and onto the mat. Start to move your hands, your feet, waken yourself. Perhaps give yourself a stretch. And bend your knees, roll to one side and make your way to sitting. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes, turn in one last time to honour ourselves, each other, the practice. We close with one Om. Exhale, inhale. Om. Thanks for practicing, thanks for coming to practice. See you on the mat. And don't forget, if you like this practice, share or even subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.